Have you ever seen this cartoon created by a Portland artist to help explain the difference between equality and equity? The first time I saw it, I interpreted it for myself and I didn't think much more of it. Every other time I've ever seen it, though, someone else was giving me their interpretation of it, and it bothered me a little more every time.
We know more than ever before, but who knew bias was the bane of all you study? We know more than ever before, but who knew bias was the bane of all you study?
The cartoon creates a social irony because though I believe the original artist's message was supposed to be simple and clear, all it did was reveal the reality that this situation is anything but simple. And when you think about it, anyone that shows you this picture and thinks that there's a simple explanation, it actually reveals more about them than it does the image. So let's interpret this cartoon together with a deep dive into its metaphor. The way I see it, there are four main sections of this cartoon that are in play. First is the baseball game, representing life. And not just life in general, which is a brutal struggle for survival, but happy life. Baseball is America's pastime, and to be able to watch a baseball game represents a level of leisure achieved by the person watching. I guess you could say that the cartoon baseball game represents what some people still call the American dream. Next is the fence. The tall fence represents the barrier to entry for the happy life of leisure. It's not a natural barrier to entry. Someone built the fence and put it there. It's not a new fence either. It's a long-standing, culturally derived barrier. Third, you have the boxes. They were built by someone too. They represent the innovation and effort put forth to overcome the fence's barrier to entry to get to the happy life of leisure. And finally, we have the people. I think it's interesting that the artist uses the concept of height, something that a person cannot choose or control, to represent the conceited reality that some have advantages that others do not. I think that's interesting given the fact that so many, nowhere near all, but so many of society's inequalities are actually culturally derived. They're not natural. They were actually caused by people's decision making affecting other people. I know we're all arguing over the ultimate damage, measuring modern progress, and mulling over the possibility of modern solutions. But the fact of the matter is, in the United States, the marginalization of women, people of color, and the LGBTQ community has had lasting effects. Rational viewer, I'd rather you not turn the video off right now and hear me out. But if you can't admit the lasting cultural effects of the marginalizations that I just mentioned, if you're sick of hearing about people's oppression, then you've already interpreted the cartoon, and I'm not exactly sure what you can get out of this conversation. And if you need to go, go. But I'm asking you to stick around and hear me out. Anyway, the artist had to choose a simple way to render inequality among people, and they chose height to get their message across. The image submits that the less fortunate person should have what they need to achieve the life of leisure that other people can get easily. In this version of the cartoon, someone decided to give their interpretation of the images. For the left image, the interpreter clearly states that equality is no longer the goal. It only works if everyone starts from the same place, they said. Well, since everyone doesn't start in the same place, equality doesn't work, according to the interpreter. For the right image, the interpreter lets us know that equity, a word the interpreter equates with fairness, should be the actual goal, because it solves the base issue of everyone not starting in the same place. There's also an action word used, ensure. The call is to ensure the interpreter's version of fairness. But see, that's the thing about fairness. It already had a definition in the National Lexicon, and ensuring it will prove to be a tall order in reality. So let's go back to the metaphor and try to assess how fair the implementation of this strategy really would be. I mean, metaphorically speaking, someone had to create those boxes. Where did the boxes come from? Did the tall person create the box that he has now lost? Is the shortest person unable to make boxes? If both the tall man and the middleman both created their boxes, what is the middleman's responsibility to the shortest man? Is the cartoon trying to say that the tallest man took the box from the shortest man and is therefore morally obligated to give it back? Is the cartoon trying to say because the tallest man doesn't need the box, he shouldn't have the box, even if he made it? Does the shortest man give the tallest man anything for the extra box? All of these questions would be ones concerning the politics of economy. But can we take a second to move from economy to philosophy? To extend the cartoon's metaphor even further, why can't all three of the men just remove the fence, eliminating the need to take or even create boxes? Or better yet, who told these three people that a leisurely life of watching baseball should even be their goal? Or if it is their goal, are they even entitled to it? Or if they are entitled to it, why? I'm Odium. This has been Message in a Bottle. Come back for the next reflection.
All the born beliefs of the mind. But what's real and what's right has so little to do with those minds.